For part A of this question, we want to solve the equation 2 times x plus 3 equals 4x subtract 8 for x. So to do this, there's a couple of things we could do. We could divide both sides by 2, or we could expand through the brackets. And that second option is the one we're going to do today. So we're going to do 2 times x and 2 times 3. Therefore, we find that 2x plus 6 is equal to 4x subtract 8. And now we want to collect all the terms involving x onto one side of the equation, so we can subtract 2x from both sides. Therefore, we find that 6 is equal to 2x subtract 8. Next, we can add 8 to both sides of the equation to leave the term involving x by itself. So therefore, we find that 14 is equal to 2x. And finally, we can divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself. So therefore, we find that x equals 7. And that is the answer to part A of this question. For part B, we want to solve the inequation 4 subtract 3x all divided by 5 plus 2 is greater than 3 for x. So to start with, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the inequality. So therefore, we find that 4 subtract 3x all divided by 5 is going to be greater than 1. And next we're going to multiply both sides of the inequality by 5. So therefore we find that 4 minus 3x is greater than 5. Next we can subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. Therefore negative 3x is going to be greater than 1. And finally, to get x by itself, we need to divide both sides by negative 3. However, because we've divided by a negative number, and the same would be true for multiplication, we need to flip the sign for the inequality. So we're going to have that this is now x is less than negative 1 divided by 3. So that is the answer for part B of this question. For part C, we're going to solve the equation ax plus c equals 2bx for the variable x. So to start with, we need all variables involving x on the one side of the equation. So to do that, we're going to subtract 2bx from both sides. And doing that will leave us with ax minus 2bx plus c is equal to 0. Next, we're going to get rid of the plus c, which is on the same side as x. So we're going to subtract c to get that over the other side of the equation. So therefore we find ax minus 2bx is equal to negative c. And next we need to factorise out the variable x as the highest common factor between those two terms on the left hand side. So that will give x bracket a subtract 2b is equal to negative c. And now x is simply multiplied by this expression a minus 2b. So we can divide both sides of the equation by a minus 2b. So divide this side by a minus 2b as well. And that will cancel this common factor with this common factor. Therefore, we now have x by itself, which is what we wanted. So x is equal to negative c divided by a subtract 2b. So that is the answer to part C of this question.